What's up, everybody? It's Flo. Alright, I'm gonna try to rip through these screens like as quick as possible, try to get through this so Axie can get through his stuff and we don't take up too much of your time. For league information, we have 4 squads. The season's gonna be 5 weeks minus a day. So how that looks is the season will start August 17th, then there'll be a 3-squad playoff on September 7th, and then the All-Star game, we decided to move it to the Saturday so USL can get going a week early. We're just, trying to work with everybody, make it work. They're not being very flexible, so we don't really have a choice, but... Alright, staff-wise, we're fully manned up. DP, lockdown 10 refs. Got my brother, we got Mites. Yes, Mites is going to be a ref.
Are you mentally okay? Yeah, he'll be fine.
Decker, Soup, Waylander, Worth, Abbott, Mixum, and ZMN. Then Revenge Lockdown 9 commentators. We got Hearthball, Eric, Chompy, myself, Yosh, Mecha, ZMN, Jim, and Axie. Basil's roles changed a little bit because we found a way to automatically record all the matches, so we don't have to worry about that and get people recording matches for us. Basil's just now the media admin. He'll be putting everything together, getting it up on YouTube, possibly working on some highlight videos, to build some excitement on a Saturday night, maybe before the matches start on Sunday. Just one note to those commentators, just make sure you're recording because we need to pair your audio up with the video. So for overtime, we decided to remove the turret decay defensive nerf at the 45-minute mark and rather just have a 2-step process with the offensive buff for the steron boost. Decision was mostly made because, we already lack engineers and now we're making the class even more painful to play, and we also worry about Verb's mental health, so...
Hang in there, bro.
Okay, so for this offensive buff, the steron boost, at the 30-minute mark, any player summoned by the squad leader will receive a 15-second steron boost. At the 45-minute mark, you'll get a 25-second steron boost, and each team is limited to 1 unspec squad leader just to avoid abuse. The steron boost ends immediately once a team has captured all flags and the victory timer begins. The steron boost, in case anybody's not familiar with it, it pretty much doubles your mobility and increases your energy regeneration by about 50%, and that also applies to vehicles. So the offenses are going to be on tilt pretty quick, and I think it'll end the matches a lot sooner. Alright, so we got a prize pool valued at $1,000, 650 of that is a cash prize, and that money's primarily came from Chompy's dueling tournament money recycled back in, and ZMN's championship money recycled back in. So at the end of the season, you can recycle the money back into the prize pool, or you can collect on it and pay out the homies. It's up to you. I'm also ordering rings, 1 for everybody on the championship team. So it'll probably cost a little more than $350 because I think that's only for 12 rings. But yeah, I got you guys. That's my contribution. All right, so squads. It looks like we'll have 4 squads. My squad's already full. I'm not really accepting anybody. I'd maybe take 1 more player. This left, so yeah, I need a player. Any USLer that wants to join, you're free to join. I'll let you on. You guys don't count against our roster positions. Verb has about 13. He's probably looking for maybe 1 more, 2 more, just to make sure he's good for attendance and for practices and all that kind of stuff. And then we got ZMN squad. Of course, he over-recruited. He has like 12 starters on his squad right now, so you're gonna have to see some movement there because he's over the roster cap of 15. Then we got Chuck squad. He managed to get 10 players so far. I know there's a bunch of heavy hitters out there that haven't made a decision yet, but you know who you are. Like, get in the league, join Chuck squad. If Chuck can get, some of those heavy hitters that are left out there, they'll definitely be a contender. The Irons, the Sovs, the Tonys, Hearthball. And I mean, they got Scarface, they got Dilatory, they got Chucky, they have Mecca's a smart player, they just picked up Chompy. I mean, it's hard for them, they came in late, the other 3 squads were already formed. Yeah, so we got 2 weeks left, and once Chuck's squad catches up in terms of numbers and talent and stuff, we'll increase the roster size. And all those players that, haven't been picked up because all the squads are kind of in stack mode right now, they're gonna need secondary players, for attendance and for practices and all that. All right, so if you go to the website, we have analysis. We're going to do a preseason analysis, and then potentially after each week, we'll be adjusting players' star ratings based off their performances, or we might just do preseason, mid-season, and then a postseason. We haven't decided yet. I put a lot of work into these. Other admins went in, modified. I got overruled on a few things, but I think overall they're pretty fair assessments. They were made, completely unbiased. There's people I would just love to give a 1-2 just based off the way they act, but we kept it fair. Anybody can go in and do the same thing and do analysis and give reviews and star ratings to players. They'll just be unofficial. The league ones are green, they're official. So if you want to see all the unofficial ratings and see what other people think besides the admin, you can click on unofficial ratings and those will all pop up for you there too. I probably expect to see a high level of trolling in there, but you know, whatever, let's have some fun with it. All right, so this next thing we have coming up here, it's a mini game. It's going to be a new game mode we can play to try to help build up pub. It's called PhlowZone because I named it after myself because I just want to feel better about my life. TDM CTF hybrid. So the way it works is there's static flags, which means obviously you can't pick them up. Once a flag is captured, a full set of turrets will spawn for your team. If you want to recapture that flag and spawn your own turrets for your own team, you have to destroy that sentry in the flag room. There's points earned for kills, and then there's points time weighted earned for holding flags. The games will have a 20-minute timer. It's a 2-team format. The max team size is 20. The engineers will start the game with 0 talks, but they start with free turrets, and there'll be some good mine spots. One or two spots to mine that you'll be able to access from the dropship there. So you might have engineers fighting each other there, you know, for talks and stuff like that. And that gladiator area where you could choose to go in one of the 3 bases, A7, D6, or B8, you're going to spawn into there as well, and you'll be able to fight once you're out of that little square. The same as it is for gladiator. If it looks like it's taking off, we'll start looking at like a 3-team format and maybe adding more bases and getting a little more creative with it. But yeah, man, Axie's hopefully going to start working on this soon once he's done wrapping up all the league stuff. I think this will be really good for reviving pub and kind of rivaling mini maps in USL. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about is what our plans are for next season. You know, I've been talking about it on Discord with a few people, but I think we want to try to run like a hybrid league, because like the whole issue is there's people that don't want to play a draft league because they want to play with their buddies, and then there's people that don't want to play CTFPL or can't even get into CTFPL because they're not getting picked up. So trying to think about everybody here, trying to do what's best for the community. And I think, you know, I genuinely believe that the hybrid model is probably the best approach for the season, because it allows the top players to play with their friends, and then, you know, they can kind of draft personalities that will fit best. And at the same time, it kind of gives those mid to lower tier players a chance to actually get on a squad, get some play time. Honestly, I think that's the best path to try to get 5 squads. And man, me, Axie, the mins, the captains, everybody's grinding, man. Everyone's trying to make this happen. Man, I'm so excited for CTFPL. I don't know when we'll have a true CTFPL again after this. So, you know, let's enjoy it. And I know we're probably going to do the hybrid league next season. But yeah, let's get Chuck's squad filled up, man. Let's do this thing. Yo, Axie, you're up.
Hey y'all. So it's been about 2 months since I last gave a formal update, if you will. So there's been talk about pub revival, CTF. Is it going to make it? Is it going to have enough squads? I don't know. I try to work on a lot of stuff. I throw a bunch of stuff at the wall. I see what sticks. Some of the bot side quests ended up being a little challenging, and I ended up shifting updates, but you know, 2 months ago, I started working on better behaviors for dual bots. Basically, an infantry and a heavy weapons. Basically, the heavy, you know, it stands still, shoots between AC and ML, depending on firing distance. And then infantry has a shotgun rifle grenade combo. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the basis for the fighting classes. It's something I want to keep working on, but I ended up tabling it for now because it's just very time consuming. So the other thing I started to try to do is get bots to fight each other. But as you can see, yeah, I mean, bugs with pathfinding and not shooting at each other. It's just, this is not the current state of them. It's much better now, but this is just an example of like early on how annoying this was to work on. So eventually I kind of just scrapped all that as far as like trying to get something completed in a reasonable time. And I shifted towards what could I do to support what we actually already play, which is OVD. I've had a couple chances to test this in game, but the idea here was to start working on tile pickers to kind of automate every phase of the setup process of an OVD. And kind of to explain these different steps. So at the beginning, there's a playing, not playing check. Basically, if you stand still completely, you will be marked as not playing. If you tap your character in any direction, even just for a split hair of a second, it'll mark you as playing. So if you accidentally tap and you intend not to, you can walk up here. It'll make you not play. So the next phase is a defense versus offense. Basically, pick your side, pick your class. Pretty self-explanatory. If too many people try to pick like 6 for defense, it'll autofill one person to offense. The fill tile is basically fill any role or side. So once offense and defense teams are picked, this area was kind of a step towards automating builds, drop macros, summon requests, etc. So for certain tiles like that LMG RPG AC, that's an O heavy build. If you walk over that tile, it'll give you O heavy setup every time you die. It'll replenish it every time you die or respawn. It'll send a summon request, and eventually, when you attach to the squad leader or you get summoned, it will drop squad leader items. I'm intending to do that for defense builds too, but have defense items instead, no summon request. And this is kind of just an easier way to play the game, to jump in, and a step towards unbiased hosting, which will eventually maybe make ELO accurate, but that's a whole other topic. So once you pick the build, basically, if you don't want to pick up one of the automated builds that I just explained, you can always use the old system and you just walk over to the customized build tiles. So I'm going to keep working on this. It's still got a bit to go, I think. But basically, once offense, defense is picked, builds are picked, then you pick a base. When everyone votes, it will automatically warp everyone to their defined spots, and it will drop all the drops for that base: minerals, extra minerals, turrets, and a flag you can't see in the screenshot. So I'll keep ironing this out, and eventually I think this will be a good replacement for what we have. There's other stuff, basically with the site, with different tools I've been working on. One thing I've been trying to do is use an existing library that basically has all the infantry game data stored, how sprites work. And this would be a step towards rewriting a client. But I needed a way to view sprites that are not broken, because the old game editors distort the images, especially in the item editor, and this makes it difficult to work on champion weapons and such. So I had to create a tool that just allowed us to view different sprites, different angles, animation speed. There's a preview section. Yeah, and it's just one step towards many steps of recreating the tools for this game. So, yeah. As far as that goes, let's just go to the site now. A lot of the site updates recently have actually been done by Bezo, not myself. He's put a ton of work into a couple of things. Let me just highlight them real quick. Let's see, where am I going here? All right, so he created this standings layout. This is eventually what we'll use to just see where everyone is placed during the season. He created a set of seasons, tracking, squad pages he's updated, He's added 2 new Hall of Champion pages, which I really appreciate the hell out of. There's a few like visual bugs with the emojis if you scroll fast, but what I thought was pretty cool was he added some memories down here, historical archives, and Dark Slayers has a page now as well. And I'm sure as he gets more info from, just we want to preserve the history of CTF, and this is just one of those things that I really appreciate somebody else picked up the slack on. I certainly couldn't chase everybody to get all the details, but we'll keep updating these pages and keep making them better. Yeah, I don't know if I ever talked about the free agent pool, but this is kind of just a way to like showcase your times of availability, your class layout, whatnot. It still needs more work there. Ratings, obviously, there's controversy, or people get upset, or I don't know how to take it, but if you want to put your opinion about just a roster of players and say nice things about them, like let's try to keep it nice. If you're blunt, that's another story. That's okay. Just don't be vicious. That's all we ask. See, CT Mecha added some ratings, additional RR user, and yeah, I mean this is just a fun little thing that people can kind of have their own opinions. Like everyone has an opinion. Everyone's welcome to share it. If we get enough ratings, I'd love to like have a more average rating system, and then we could do away with like maybe these. Everyone's kind of biased, and so even a panel of people rating people is like still arbitrary, right? You can never know how good every single person is in the game is at any given time, just based on not sitting in those discords or who's contributing what. Like, so it is what it is with that. What else? I mean, there's been minor improvements here or there with various things. Player stats. Bezo added secondary aliases, so hopefully there's a bit better tracking there. I know there's still a lot of issues with the actual accuracy of the recordings. Who's what class? This has kind of been a bane of my existence working on for a while now, so I'll try to get it more accurate soon. We'll see where it goes. And yeah, I mean, I'll just kind of share my weird to-do list here. Like, there's just so much shit here. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I've spent has just been dealing with internal drama or people coming at me, or I don't know. Like, it is what it is. So, yeah, as you can see, here's like a wish list of the site. I want to add fantasy systems, match reports, everything. Like champion weapons or something I still got to work on. And it never ends. So thanks for being a part of the community, and